I was standing in my mother's living room, introducing her to the man I'd been dating for 3 years. The man I wanted to marry. But when she opened that door and saw him, her face went completely white. In the next 5 minutes, I would discover that my boyfriend was actually my father. And I was pregnant with his child. I'm Benedicta. I grew up in Ivory Coast with my single mom. My father abandoned her when she got pregnant, and his wealthy family called us poor people. Years later, I got a scholarship to study in France. That's where I met Sebastian. He was older, successful, charming. For 3 years, we built what I thought was the perfect relationship. He told me he'd never been married, that I was his first real love. Finally, I was ready to bring him home to meet my mom. The moment Mom saw Sebastian, something was terribly wrong. She turned pale, started shaking. They couldn't look at each other. The tension was suffocating. I demanded to know what was happening. Mom pulled Sebastian aside to talk privately, but I could hear them arguing. Then I heard the words that destroyed my life. You need to end this with my daughter. You cannot be with your own daughter. I walked back in, barely breathing. What did you just say? Mom was crying. Sebastian stared at the floor. Then she said it clearly. Benedict, Sebastian is your father. The baby he abandoned 20 years ago was you. Everything shattered. Every kiss, every intimate moment for 3 years had been with my own father. I ran to my aunt's house, unable to process the nightmare, but it got worse. Days later, I realized I'd missed my period. 3 pregnancy tests, all positive. I was pregnant with my father's child. When I told them, Sebastian coldly said I needed to terminate the pregnancy like it was a business problem. Then he dropped another bomb. He'd been married for 15 years. The entire relationship was built on lies. I stayed with my aunt, barely eating, barely sleeping. I talked to doctors about genetic risks. I saw therapists. I cried until I had no tears left. After weeks of agony, I made my choice. I terminated the pregnancy, not for him, but for me. Because I knew I couldn't carry that child and not see the trauma every single day. Mom held my hand through it all. The procedure was quick. The emotional devastation lasted much longer. I returned to France and threw myself into therapy. I learned that what happened wasn't my fault. I was a victim of deception, not a participant in something wrong. Slowly, painfully, I started rebuilding. I finished my degree with honors. I cut all contact with Sebastian. 2 years later, I heard he died in a car accident. I felt relief more than grief. It's been 4 years now. I'm studying to become a trauma counselor, turning my pain into purpose. I'm even dating again, carefully, with someone who respects my boundaries. I'm not fully healed. Some wounds never completely close. But I'm healing. And that's enough. Here's what I want you to know. If you're dating someone much older, ask questions. About their past, their family, everything. If they get defensive, that's a red flag. Trust your instincts. If something feels wrong, it probably is. And remember, you're not defined by what happens to you. You're defined by how you survive it. I'm Benedict. I'm a survivor. And my story isn't over.